Right, custom models. This is going to go over how to get custom characters. Some couple prerequisites. We're going to need a specific Unreal version. So you're going to download 4.27. If you don't know how to do that, go into Unreal, click this little button, click the drop down, and it'll be somewhere in here. It'll be below 4.26 or above 4.26, sorry. And then just install that. I already got it installed. So next thing we're going to need is a specific Blender plugin. So you need this Blender plugin. I'll link it in the description. This allows us to import PSK file formats, which are kind of Unreal's model and animation thing. It holds all the bones and everything that we need. So once you've got all that installed, you're going to open up Blender. If you don't know how to install an add-on, by the way, you go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, Install, and you'll find the zip file and install it. I've already got it installed, as you can see, so I'm going to do that. In the description, there will be a list of all the characters you want to swap, including even the shop clerk. So I think his name's Ciro. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, you can replace any character in the game. So what you're going to do is open up the PSK you want. So I'm going to go into my example folder. We're going to do Aaron today. As you can see, Aaron is ginormous. That's because Unreal works with some pretty weird scales and stuff. So we're going to need to follow specific scales for this to work. So make sure you have the armature selected, not the model. The model level, a little highlight around it. You want the armature selected. So just the armature. Press N and scale this down to 0.01 scale. Right now, he's at the correct scale for us to be working with him, and this is the scale we're going to be working at, right? So now you're going to want to go find some model or make it yourself, but I imagine most people will be porting characters from different games. So I'm going to be using Gordon Freeman from Half-Life. So I've already got the model set up and downloaded. So I'm just going to import GLTF, and I'm going to import Gordon. And I've already lined him up for ease, but you basically just want to line him up so the character sits pretty much in the same place. You can even pivot the arms and stuff. So if you put like your cursor here, I would just hold shift and right clicked, right? And then you can select part of the arm and then set this to 3D cursor, and then you can pivot it around the cursor and try and line it up as best as you can. Use proportional editing and everything like that if you know how to use it, but you want to line stuff up pretty well. So to transfer the vertex groups from Aaron to our character, in my case Gordon Freeman, first select Gordon or whatever your character is, then select Aaron, go Object, Link, Transfer Mesh Data, Vertex Groups, make sure all layers is selected, and then just click off, and now you'll see that Gordon has all of these lovely vertex groups. In some cases, you'll also get it so that you'll have like more vertex groups in there. In that case, you're going to want to clear those out before you transfer over the new ones. To do that, you can click this little drop arrow, and that will delete all unlocked groups, and that will remove all the ones and then transfer the stuff over from Aaron. Now, we could technically get rid of Aaron now. We'll keep him for reference, especially if this is your first time doing this. It's good to know what parts are what. So keep him to the side. Now what I want to do is, at the minute, the vertex groups, they kind of like map themselves on. So you can see the hips and stuff have worked quite well. But stuff like the head and stuff, you can see the bottom of his head is not included. So what we want to do is clear out all of the vertex groups. This is kind of a pain in the ass, but there's not too many vertex groups, so it's quite easy to do. So what you want to do is go into edit mode, select the entire model, and then just make your way through all the vertex groups. So click the vertex group, click remove, click the down arrow, and then just do this the entire thing. So I'll just speed this bit up, but yeah, just make your way all the way through it. All right, now that's done. If we go back into weight paint mode, you'll see all of the layers now, they're all blue, which is what we want because we're starting from scratch now. So basically just follow what it says. And if you don't know what something is, what you can do is you can select Aaron, and if you go into object mode, select him, and then go back to weight paint mode, you can kind of see what bits what in terms of where stuff's meant to go. And also another thing, all of the thumbs and everything are weighted. We're not going to do that. It doesn't make that much of a difference. It makes it look like you're gripping the car, but for our purposes, it's too detailed. I'm not going to be covering it. It is pretty simple to do. It's just time consuming. So I don't personally do it on any of the mods I've made. So what you're going to want to do is go out of weight paint mode, select back to him, and we're just going to start from the top. So I'm going to go weight paint. I'm going to paint the hips on. So you can kind of just eyeball this. It just needs to be around the area. You can also do it with weight paints. A lot of the time I actually prefer to do it with just selecting the mesh. So you can like go in edit mode, select the bit of the hips you want, click assign, and then what you can do is you can make your way through it slowly. So done the hips now, so you can hide the hips with H, and then I'll select the lower bit of the spine. I'll click assign and I'll hide it, and I'll go through this. But yeah, you're going to want to go through and select every part. Again, if you need reference, just make your way back to Aaron. Only really do up to the hand in detail. So I'll do left shoulder, left arm, left forearm, left hand. I won't bother with any of the fingers. And that usually gives decent enough results. But I'm just going to speed this bit up because it's pretty boring. All right, now you've done the full model. If you have any little stragglers like this, every single piece of the mesh needs to be included. So if you have anything like this, these need to be added back. So for example, these need to be added to the hips because they weren't included. So I'll assign those to the hips, and these with the shoulders. This is right shoulder. So we assign to the right shoulder and hide that. And this is the left shoulder. Obviously, remember, because you're facing the character, left is right and right is left. Just to make it a bit more confusing. So left shoulder, assign, and then now you can unhide everything, and everything should be set up. So like the hips are the hips, and if we go in weight paint mode, you see everything's kind of painted, but you'll see it's kind of harsh. It's got a very hard line to everything, right? Now we don't want this because the animations will look weird. So what you're going to want to do is go through and smooth these out. So the way you do that is you select the vertex group you want to smooth, and then you go weights, smooth, and just smooth it out. You can do Shift R so you don't have to keep going up here. Once you've done it once, just press Shift R a couple times and it'll do it. Just go through and do this for everything. With the spine ones, they don't have to be as smooth, but stuff like the arms and stuff, they'll bend at really strong angles if you don't smooth these out quite a bit. So go through and do this. I'm going to speed this bit up as well. I know everything's smooth now. We're pretty much set in terms of finishing off the model. Now we've got to get it in Unreal. So I'm going to go back to object mode. We've got to do the setup of the armature as well. So now we can definitely delete Aaron. So Aaron's gone. And what we're going to want to do is select the model, then click the armature, like that. Right click, parent, object. Now, as you can see, he's gone in the actual the thing, and if you scale this, he'll scale with it. Make sure all transforms, so you can see this. It's got a bunch of rotation stuff on him. Click A and click apply all transforms. That will basically make it so that everything's set to default, right? So once you've done that, we need to add an armature to whatever your model is. So go to the modifiers, armature, and select the armature. Next, copy this name, just so you spell it right, pretty much. If you know how to spell armature, it's fine. Double click the armature, whatever it's called. So mine's Aaron, whatever one you've replaced, it will show up the name there. And call it armature. That's very important. If you don't do that, it won't work at all. So once we've done that, select everything, file, export, FBX, put it somewhere you know. So I'm going to put my models, cards, I'm going to make one called Gordon. And make sure your model is also called whatever your like thing you're replacing is. So mine is Aaron _SK, right? Do that. Path mode, copy, turn that on. This will copy your textures over, hopefully. Sometimes it can be a bit iffy, and I'll probably have to do it manually, and I'll show you how to do that. And then in armature, you want to turn off add leaf bones. Make sure you turn this off, otherwise it won't work. Then just click export. So now our model's done. What we're going to want to do is open up Unreal. But firstly, you're going to need my example project. So, in the description, there'll be an example project for Unreal. What you're going to do is go Documents, go Unreal Projects. If you don't have this folder, make it. And extract the zip left in the description. Put it in here. Make sure when you go into it, it's got the project. It's not like a folder in a folder kind of thing. Once you've done that, kind of have this as like your boilerplate, if that makes sense. Like your template. So copy it and then name it whatever the model you're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing Gordon, right? So name it Gordon and name the U project to what you're doing as well. So I'm going to call this Gordon. Next, open up Unreal. Then once it's open, go to More, and you'll see one called thing. If it's a cosmetic as well, I'll have cosmetic written over it. So open that up. Once this is open, go into Art. Oh, firstly, double click this. Go into Art, Characters, and then find your model. So for me, mine is in Glory Modding, Models, Characters, Gordon. Drag this into Unreal. Click Import All. And hopefully, the materials will import properly. If they don't, which it seems mine haven't, it seems there's quite a few textures to be fair, you're going to have to manually export them out of Blender. Now there's two ways to do this. We're going to try the easy way. If the easy way doesn't work, then you have to do it the harder way. I'll show both, but we'll go over the easy way first. So the easy way to do it is there's actually a file format called DAE that exports the textures with the model. So you can export the model and then just delete the DAE file. So we're going to do that. We're going to try this, but it doesn't always work, especially if you've got procedural textures. this won't work. But if you've got procedural textures, you'll also have to bake them. So, but models, characters, Gordon, and then we'll just extract it in here. And hopefully we get some textures. We did not, which is fine. This happens. So instead, so what you're going to want to do is change this to, actually go to shading, and you'll see an image editor on the right hand side. Pull this over a bit more so you can see this. So go to here, you got image, you can save. So now what I'm going to want to do is go through materials. So you can click the material tab on the right here with your HEV mesh. So then you want to find the base color, click this, go image, image, save as, save this to wherever your model is, and then make your way down to the next one. So this is lens, so I imagine this is glasses. Do the same thing, and basically repeat this for all the materials. And yeah, I'm going to speed this up again because it's just repetitive. Once you've got all your images saved, now we can move back to Unreal. And a good thing to keep your folders clean and stuff, especially with the characters, because you can have multiple of them, is anything like textures and stuff. Make a new folder and call it whatever your character's called, and then this is like your actual character, and then underscore assets. It doesn't have to be underscore. They can be named anything, but to make it unique, do that. And then any textures or materials like this, move those into here, and then we're going to go into here. I'm going to delete these normals because we're not using them, and import in all the images you just extracted. So just drag them, drop. Next, select all your materials, click enter, and it will open them all up in like the tab at the top. So this one is the just material, and if you need to know what one is, so I don't know, this doesn't tell me, right? It's just called material. So if you go back to the thing, they're all called the same name as well in here. So you can look what the texture is. So in this case, it's the HEV soup texture. And then you can drag this into here and plug this into the base color, save, and then close that, and just basically repeat for everything. So it's glasses, drag this in. This one needs to be transparent, right? Because it's his glasses. So you can select the main material, scroll down, change this surface, change this to translucent, and plug the alpha into the opacity. And now it's like a piece of glass. Also put two-sided because we want to be able to see from both sides of his glasses. Pretty useful to be able to do that. So save that, close that, and just repeat for everything. So again, I'm just going to speed this bit up because it is just boring. Alright, once you've done all that, all the materials should be correct now. And if you go back to your model and double click it, you'll see everything is showing up properly now, which is what we want. Also, another thing to check is if you open up your skeleton, if it doesn't say root here, like right at the top, then you didn't name the armature right, or you've not exported with leaf bones turned off. So that can cause that to happen. But this is why we named it armature, because if this isn't called root, then it doesn't work. What I'm going to want to do now is these need to be named differently, because in the game, it uses a different skeleton and a different physics asset. I'll leave what the names are in the description, but I'm just going to go quickly find them. So these are the two different names you'll need. So we're going to copy the physics asset. I'm going to paste this onto the physics asset, and then copy the skeleton, paste this onto the skeleton, save, then go back to the content folder. So drag this onto here, move here, go file, cut content, I'll wait for this to load. It should not take very long because obviously we're only doing a character. So it should be done. And there we go. Once it's done, go to wherever your Unreal project is. Go to Saved, Cooked, Windows, whatever your name of your project is, Content, Art, Characters, and here you'll find all your stuff. Copy everything but these two. Make sure you don't copy these. This will break your game if you copy these. So just copy your assets and the actual main character. Copy that. Find your game folder. So mine's here. Into content. You're going to want to create a folder, call it art. And then inside art, you want to create a folder, call it characters _new. Paste everything in here. I'm just going to double check I spelled characters new, right? Because I don't trust myself. Yeah. So once you've done that, that's about it. Now we're going to go over some bug fixes because I imagine I've got it wrong. We'll see. Let's just see. Let's load up the game. There he is. I actually haven't. I got quite lucky here in terms of it not breaking. But sometimes what you'll get is you'll get vertices kind of like sitting high above his head or going in different places. And this can also happen if you get in game. So let's see if they're broken in game. No, he looks pretty fine in game. So yeah, if you do have anything break, then what you can actually do is go back. Oh, his arms are disconnected. So that is a little thing. If the mesh doesn't line up properly and the things are disconnected, then they won't join properly. So that can happen. So just make sure your mesh is connected properly. But in terms of a mod, it doesn't matter too much. So what can happen is vertices can be in different places and stuff. To fix that, go back to your model and whatever the bit is. So I'll demonstrate. So let's say we had the hand bugging out, right? What you're gonna want to do is go into your vertex groups, select the hand. So right hand. Right hand, select, then go through each other group and click remove on that, because what's happened is it's been assigned to a vertex group, and so that vertex group is moving it around when it shouldn't be. So but yeah, I hope this makes sense. Any questions, as always, message me on Discord. And yeah, have fun with it, I guess.